I never imagined this would happen to me. I had always prided myself on being a good husband to Susie. We had been together for over 7 years, 2 beautiful boys, and a life that seemed perfect. Sure, there were the usual ups and downs. Life with 2 toddlers can be chaotic, but we were happy, or at least I thought we were. Started small. A few nights Susie would come home late from work. I didn't think much of it at first, just meetings and deadlines. But when she began showering immediately upon coming home, with the same excuse about smelling like smoke from her colleague and cigarettes, I shrugged it off. It wasn't until the Wednesdays, those late nights with the girls, that I started feeling that gnawing feeling in my gut. I tried not to let my suspicions get the best of me, but something didn't sit right. The texts she sent me during the day grew less frequent, and when she was home, she seemed distant, as if something was keeping her mind elsewhere. But still, I trusted her. Or at least I thought I did. Then came the day that changed everything. It was a normal Saturday, and Susie had gone to run some errands. I was home with the kids, playing and trying to get the house ready for a family trip we were planning. Our son, Ryan, was helping me clean out some old boxes in the attic, the kind of things we had been meaning to go through for ages. And that's when he found it. He handed me a small box, wrapped in simple brown paper. "Daddy, what's this?" he asked, looking up at me with wide eyes. My stomach sank. It didn't look like anything we'd bought recently. Hesitant, I opened it. Inside was a beautiful silver bracelet, something I had never seen before. There was also a letter folded carefully next to it. I was confused. Who was this for? The name on the card was not mine. The message inside was clear, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. "I can't wait for our time together. Every moment with you feels like a dream. Love, A." My heart dropped to my feet. I didn't know who A was, but I was certain that it wasn't me. I called Susie, my voice shaking. "Where are you?" I asked, trying to keep the calm facade. I needed answers. She told me she was on her way home, and as the minutes ticked by, my mind raced. My son had just handed me the proof I needed, but I wasn't ready to confront her. Not like this. I don't know how long I stared at that damn bracelet, my mind reeling with all the possibilities. A part of me wanted to believe there was some mistake, that I was just overreacting, but deep down I knew better. That letter, those words, left no room for doubt. She was seeing someone else. When Susie finally walked through the door, her usual smile faded as soon as she saw the look on my face. She froze, her eyes flickering nervously. I didn't give her the chance to say anything. I held up the box. "Susie, what is this?" I asked, my voice steady, though my heart was pounding. She stared at the box, then at the letter, and her face went pale. "Where did you find that?" she whispered, her voice breaking. She took a step back, and I could tell she was scrambling for an explanation. "Our son, Susie. He found it. Among our things." "What the hell is going on?" My voice rose, the anger bubbling up inside me. I had been calm, too calm for too long, and now it was all coming out. She swallowed hard, looking like she was about to cry. I never wanted you to find out like this. I didn't know how to tell you." The silence in the room was deafening. I wanted answers, not excuses. "Who is A?" I demanded, my voice growing louder. Her face crumpled, and I saw the guilt in her eyes. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just did," she stammered, barely able to meet my gaze. The words that followed didn't even make sense, at least not in the way I wanted them to. She told me it had started as an innocent friendship, a late-night work conversation that turned into something more. And before I knew it, she was sneaking around behind my back, lying about where she was and what she was doing. "But you were always so good to me," I said, my voice thick with disbelief. "How could you do this to us? To our family?" My chest tightened, the pain hitting me like a physical blow. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I never meant for it to get this far. I didn't know how to stop." I stood there, feeling like I had been sucker punched. I didn't know whether to scream or to break down. I looked at her, but I couldn't see the woman I had married, the woman I had trusted, the woman I had built a life with. She was gone. replaced by someone who had betrayed me in the worst possible way. And then, as if that wasn't enough, Susie dropped another bombshell. It's been going on for months. It's with someone I work with. His name is Adam, she whispered, almost as if saying his name out loud would make it all too real. I felt the world around me start to spin. Adam. That name. Another part of my wife's secret life. A life I had no part in. A life I never knew existed. The room felt suffocating, like the walls were closing in on me, crushing the air out of my lungs. Adam. The name echoed in my mind, a constant reminder of the lie I had been living. My entire marriage, everything I thought was real, was shattered in an instant. Couldn't believe it. The woman I had shared my life with, my kid's mother, the person I trusted most, had betrayed me. Susie stood there, eyes full of tears, but I couldn't feel any sympathy for her. How could I? How could I look at her and not see the deceit in her eyes? I stepped back, running my hands through my hair, pacing the room. How long, Susie? How long has this been going on? I asked, the anger rising again, but now it was mixed with something darker. Pain. Heartache. Months, she whispered again. It started innocently, I swear, just texting. And then one thing led to another. I got caught up in it. And I know I shouldn't have. But I did. Her voice faltered, and I saw the shame on her face. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't going to fix what she had done. I didn't know what to say. What was there to say? There was nothing she could do to fix this. And what about us? I finally managed to get out. What about everything we've built together? Our kids? Did that mean nothing to you? I didn't want to hurt you, she sobbed, her hands trembling. I never meant for it to go this far. I felt the anger explode inside me. You didn't mean for it to go this far? I practically spat the words. You've been sleeping with him behind my back for months, and you didn't mean for it to go this far? I could see it then. Her guilt, her regret. It was all there in her eyes. But it wasn't enough. I needed more. I needed her to understand what she had taken from me, from our family. Without thinking, I grabbed the bracelet from the box and threw it across the room, clattered against the wall, bouncing to the floor. Is this your idea of love, Susie? I shouted. A bracelet? A damn bracelet. She looked like she had been slapped. Please don't.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what I was thinking. My heart was breaking, but I couldn't let myself feel sorry for her. She had chosen this. She had chosen him. I turned away, taking a deep breath, trying to calm myself down. Couldn't even look at her anymore. I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. I wouldn't let her see me break. I walked out of the room and found our son, Ryan, in the living room, oblivious to the storm that had just erupted. He smiled at me, holding up a drawing he had made. Look, Daddy, I made you a picture. My heart broke all over again. How could I tell him? How could I shatter his world like mine had been shattered? I knelt down and hugged him, pressing my face into his hair. It's beautiful, buddy, I whispered, but inside I was dying. I didn't know what to do anymore. The truth had come crashing down, and now I was left to pick up the pieces of a life that would never be the same. I didn't know if I could ever forgive Susie. I didn't know if I even wanted to. But one thing was certain. This was the end of the story I thought I was living, and the beginning of something I had no idea how to face. That night, as I lay in bed, my mind racing with the events of the day, one thought kept repeating itself over and over. How do you move on when the person you loved more than anything betrays you in the worst possible way? I didn't have an answer. Not yet. But I would find one.